everyone. Thank you so much again for getting on your mats. Today's class is going to be about a little bit of a theme. We're going to be flowing and moving, but the theme today is about finding your warrior. So if you are a regular, a seasoned yogi onto your mat, you'll know that we have various forms of warrior, Virabhadrasana, and so we can go through warrior 1, warrior 2, warrior 3, but the one I want us to focus on today is our peaceful warrior. So this is sometimes called reverse warrior in other yogis practice, but for some reason I picked up peaceful warrior years and years ago, and I've kind of stuck with it because I love that idea and the qualities of a person of being strong, of holding your ground and not being a pushover, so facing something and fighting for something you believe in, as a warrior would do, holding your ground, but then also having this peacefulness about you, having love, having compassion at your heart, having truthfulness, and I think there's something really powerful in that. So we're going to be embracing our peaceful warriors today. And I would also like you, if you have a practice that you would like to devote to someone else, try and think of a person in your life that is your peaceful warrior. So is truthful and holds true to things that they believe in, but they also have this open heart and they are compassionate, and they also bring a little bit of peace to the world. This obviously is wonderful because it dates back to some of our oldest texts in yoga. So the Bhagavad Gita, whereby Arjuna, the fierce warrior prince, really struggles with lots of life things that come up. You know, where is his devotion? Where is his what does he side on? Does he side on family? Does he side on the right thing to do, or what he believes is the right thing to do? Does he side on war or peace? And Krishna just keeps coming back with these life lessons. And one of the life lessons that he gives is about yoga, practicing yoga, practicing meditation, but doing it all with a peaceful heart. So taking that as one of our core texts and putting it into our practice today, I want you to really feel in your warrior poses, feel the strength, build that strength, that energy in your postures, but also find that openness to find a bit of peace and come to it from a place of love. Devote your practice. Starting in our comfortable seat, closing down the eyes, chin to chest, and just start to take your breath into the body. And like I said, if you would like to devote your practice to someone other than yourself, perhaps to the peaceful warrior or the person that holds those qualities in your life, devote the practice to them today. Start to move into your breath and start to notice where your breath is coming from. If it's slightly caught up in your chest, in your throat today, and whether with every single breath you can move the breath down into your lower belly, abdomen, using the diaphragm, the belly muscles to take your inhalation and your exhalation, filling the body full of air, and exhaling, releasing, letting go. Coming into your Ujjayi breath if that's in your practice. Closing, pursing the lips together, taking your tongue to the back of the teeth, the roof of the mouth. Creating that fire, that sound, ocean, victory breath, the back of the throat. And using the breath today to bring you that focus, that intention for your practice. So really hear it in all of your postures. Know that as always, your postures today and the asana practice is always an option. So if you have niggles, you have injuries, just be mindful and be respectful of your body, of your mind, and just know what feels good. Listen in and tap into your body to move around the mat consciously. When you're ready, just continue to take your chin in towards your chest and just take a bow forward. So perhaps that you just move the block or the cushion that you're on, and you just take that simple bow forwards, releasing forehead to the mat, turn inwards. And we're going to keep coming back to these pauses throughout our practice today, just to come back to those qualities of our peaceful warrior. When you're ready, begin to move yourself all the way over onto all fours, releasing those legs. And just take a little bit of movement back and forth through those wrists. The shoulders go beyond the wrists and back through. Keep with your breath, inhaling and exhaling. Begin to curl the toes under. Just take a round of cat and cow, drawing the belly in. Exhaling. And on the inhale, release the spine and look forwards. Tailbone lifts, belly drops to the mat. Exhale, round, chin into chest, drawing the belly, tucking the tailbone. And then when you're ready, drawing your weight backwards, coming all the way through into your down face dog. Finding your alignment, moving through the feet, dropping those heels down, pedaling, breathing in and breathing out. We're just going to take a few rounds of just warming up through the body. So sway, play around. You can always drop to the knees, find a child's pose. On the inhale, move the body forwards into your high plank, hollowing through the body, drawing the belly in. On the exhale, drop those knees, chest and chin, elbows draw in. On the inhale, release through, coming into low baby cobra, elbows drawing back. And on the exhale, bow the head, curl the toes under, lift yourself up, back and down into child's pose. Inhale, exhale. On the inhale, lift all the way up through the hips. Exhale, drop back and down, back into your down dog. Fingertips spreading wide, wrapping around through those shoulders, drawing the belly in, gazes between the thighs or between the feet, or to the very tip of your nose, breathing in. Breathing out. On the inhale, wave the body back forwards into your high plank, pressing through those heels, drawing the belly in, pressing through the fingertips, and especially adding weight onto the thumb side of the hand. Inhale. Exhale, drop those knees, chest and chin. Ashtanga Namaste. Inhale, rise, come through low baby cobra, or lifting that little bit higher up into your king cobra. Inhale, shoulders away from the ears. Exhale all the way back and down, curling the toes under, this time coming into child's pose. Inhale, lift back all the way up into your down dog. Taking 2 breaths in down dog again, pedal the feet, move through the hips, drop the knees in towards the body, move, see what feels good, breathing in, breathing out. On the inhale, wave the body back forwards, curving through the spine, back into your high plank. Crown of the head moves through. Exhale, knees, chest and chin down to the mat. Inhale, release the toes, lift, come all the way through. Perhaps from your king cobra, you lift back onto the knees, come up into your upward facing dog, Urdhva Mukha. And you exhale, right up, back down into your down dog. And we're going to hold in down dog. So if you can, find stillness. Perhaps you close down the eyes. If you need a child's pose, you're welcome to hold there. Breathing in, breathing out. On the next inhale, slide the left foot to the back centre of your mat and lift all the way up through the right leg, 3-legged dog. On the exhale, draw the right knee all the way in towards your nose and place the foot all the way down. Dropping the back heel, release the toe, Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, drop both hands down to the mat. Curl the back toe under and step your left foot in to meet your right. Gazing pose, flat back, Ardha. Exhale, lower, Uttanasana. Inhale, gazing. Exhale, Uttanasana. Stepping back with the right foot, a long stride back. Releasing the back knee down to the mat and curl the toe. Inhale, lift, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, release both hands down to the mat. Curl the back toe under this time and step yourself back into your down face dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Keeping with your deep breath, inhale through the nose. Exhale out the nose. Sliding right foot to back center of the mat, lift through the left leg, three-legged dog. Squaring up those shoulders, flexing through the foot if you'd like to. Exhale, step the left foot right between your fingertips. Drop down onto the back knee, give the foot a helping hand if you need to. This time keep the back toe curled under. Rise, come up, low lunge, Anjaneyasana. Exhale, release both hands down to the mat. Set that right foot in to meet your left. Taking your forward fold. Inhale halfway. Lengthen hands on the shins, your mat. Exhale, lower. Breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, stepping that left foot all the way back, dropping down onto the back knee, keep the back toe curled this time. Inhale, lift to Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, release both hands down to the mat. Curl the back toe under again, press and lift yourself all the way back and down, back into your down face dog. Again, to find stillness, just make sure you've got your alignment. Spread those fingertips wide. Gaze between the thighs. Move your heels out so you can't see them between from your big toes. Lifting all the way up and back, drawing the belly in, breathing breathing out. When you're ready, you're going to come up onto the toes, begin to hike those hips, step, float your feet all the way through to the very top edge of your mat, bringing your big toes together so they touch, your heels about an inch apart, and again, take your forward fold. Soften through the knees and roll up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Head, neck and shoulders last to rise. Roll your shoulders back and down. Shoulders away from the ears, coming through into our Tadasana, mountain pose. On the inhale, draw the arms all the way up overhead. On the exhale, draw your hands through to heart center and just hold there. Close down the eyes as the thumbs come past the nose, the lips, the mouth. Then take a pause. Breathe into the body. Perhaps you sigh out of the mouth. Come back to your devotion for your practice. Perhaps again you think about the qualities of that peaceful warrior, and we will find that posture in our next flow. On the inhale, open the eyes, lift the gaze upwards towards the heavens and draw your hands all the way up overhead, Utva. On the exhale, draw yourself down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, rise, lengthen, Ardha. Exhale, lower. Stepping back with the right foot, a long stride, lifting all the way up into your high lunge. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. When you're ready, dropping your back heel down, opening into your warrior two. Glancing down so you can see your big toe. Make sure the back edge of your foot is parallel with the short edge. When you're ready, begin to turn the palms to face upwards. And on your next inhale, lower the right hand down to the back of the right thigh and begin to turn the palm and lift the left palm all the way up. Opening through chest and heart, barely any weight in those right fingertips. Pressing the right knee out. Continue to bend through that front knee. So we have our strength of our front legs, of our foundations. And we have the openness of our heart and our shoulders. Inhale. Exhale, come back into warrior two. Moving with the breath now. Inhale, open, peaceful warrior. Exhale, warrior two. Two more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale, open, peaceful. And on this exhale, drop both hands either side of the front foot. Step yourself all the way back into your plank pose. Option to take a vinyasa, chaturanga, or your knees, chest and chin. Inhale, rise, lifting through cobra, king cobra, up dog. Exhale, all the way back up and down face dog. Heels apart, taking our 3 breaths in our down face dog. Fingertips spreading wide. Breathing in. And breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. On the next inhale, up between the space in your hands, step, jump, float yourself to the very top edge of your mat, coming into Ardha gazing. Exhale, lower. On the inhale, rise, swan dive the arms all the way up and around, flowing straight through onto the opposite side. Exhale, lower, dropping yourself all the way down, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha. Exhale, lower. Long stride all the way back with the left leg. Walking that right foot out if you need that space, lifting through into your high lunge, one breath. Exhale, dropping the back left heel down, opening into warrior two. Relaxing those shoulders. So again, this is one of our warrior poses where we're strong. We'd almost have our spear right out in front of us, so we have the strength and length through our shoulders, but we also find ease and softness in the pose. When we're ready, we're going to begin to turn, open up the body, dropping the left hand to the back of the left thigh, turning the palm, lifting into our peaceful warrior. On the exhale, come back through warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. We're going to take two more. Inhale. Exhale. Don't worry about how far you're going back. Just open chest and heart. And this time as you exhale, drop both hands either side of that front foot. Come up onto that back toe. Step yourself all the way back into your plank. Taking your knees, your chest and your chin down to the mat, all come through Chaturanga. Inhale, rise, coming up through your cobra, up dog. Exhale, all the way back up and down into your down face dog. Feet hip distance, taking your 3 breaths again. Perhaps finding child's pose. Breathing in. Breathing out. You might even want to sigh out of the mouth. And when you're ready, begin to look through the space in your hands. Step, jump, float your feet to the very top edge of your mat. Big toes touch. Ardha gazing. Exhale, lower, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, come all the way up. Urdhva Hastasana, and on the exhale, draw yourself back through Samastahiti. Equals pose, and then back to mountain pose, Tadasana. This time, soften through the knees, come into chair pose, Utkatasana. Tucking the tailbone under, squeezing the knees and thighs together. We won't be here very long. Breathe into it, one more breath. On the inhale, lift. On the exhale, draw yourself all the way down, forward fold. Inhale, halfway, gazing. Ardha, exhale, lower. From there, we're going to step both right and left foot back, coming straight back into our down face dog this time. On the inhale, lift through the right leg, 3-legged dog. And on the exhale, we're going to step the right foot through. Dropping the back heel down. Inhale, rise and lift. Coming straight up into our warrior one. Breathing in, turning those hips to face forwards. Breathing out, tucking tailbone under. Strong in our warrior one, shoulders away from those ears. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale. On the inhale, lift, straighten the front leg. On the exhale, open yourself out into your warrior two. Breathing in. And breathing out. Dropping the left hand to the back thigh, begin to turn, open up the right side and come back into your peaceful warrior. Now there's an option either to keep the fingertips down, or you can begin to turn the palm and begin to drop that hand onto your lower back, taking a bind. And when we do that, it's a nice option so we don't place too much weight through our back leg. Continue to open chest and heart, holding here, bending through that front knee, drawing the right knee out, firming up through that back thigh. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. On the inhale, begin to lift. Straighten the front leg. On the exhale, dropping back down into your warrior two. Shoulders squeezing. Breathing in. Breathing out. Inhale. Exhale, waiting for the change. Inhale, and on the exhale, dropping right elbow onto the thigh, or dropping the fingertips to the very instep of that right foot and opening through into your side angle. Lifting through the inner arch of the back foot again, the inner thigh. Opening through the chest. Breathing in. Breathing out. Now, of course, if you have any variations of your side angle, perhaps the hand is over onto the outside of the foot. Perhaps you take a bind, dropping those left fingertips onto the thigh and opening up, and you may even take a full bind, wrapping all the way through. Breathing in, breathing out, holding, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Right fingertips back to the mat, left hand all the way up. On the inhale, come all the way back up into warrior two. Find your length and strength, bending through the front knee. Inhale, exhale, cartwheel both hands either side of that front foot. Coming up onto the back toe, step yourself back. Option of your vinyasa again. Chaturanga, gazes forwards. Come through to that 90 degrees. Inhale is your up dog. Exhale is your down dog. Holding in your down dog again for 3 breaths. Fingertips wide. Always an option to take your child's pose. Hips lifting up. Of course, there's always the option again to take the feet nice and wide. Give a bit more space for those hips. Move in and out, have a nice pop, crack of your hips. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. When you're ready, sliding that right foot to the center, lift through the left leg, and we're going to work straight through to the other side. On the exhale, step that left foot through. As you step the left foot through, make sure your stride is fairly short to start off with. You draw that right foot in, out to 30 degrees and rise, come all the way up into your warrior one. Drawing that left hip back, the right hip comes forwards. Palms can come together or keep apart over the head. Pressing down through that back foot. Inhale, exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, start to lengthen through the front leg. Start to turn your body all the way around to face the very edge of your mat. Walking that right foot back. Heel in line with the toes. Drawing all the way up through the arms, coming into your warrior two. Inhale and exhale to hold. Tucking tailbone under. Breathing in and breathing out. Squeezing those shoulder blades, inhale. Exhale, when you're ready, dropping that right hand to the back thigh, turning the left palm to face up, coming into your peaceful warrior. And take your time there to find the pose for you. Make sure you're strong through the inner thigh. Perhaps again you take that right hand and wrap it round, so you're not putting weight into that back right leg. Take your variation, continue to bend through the left knee. Breathing in and exhaling. Keep turning the chest round, opening up through the heart, drawing yourself back, creating space through those shoulders. When you're ready, inhale, and on the exhale, draw yourself back through to your warrior two, bending through the front knee that little bit more. Inhaling, and on this next exhale again, coming into your side angle, so left elbow onto the left knee, coming up through the right arm, opening and turning the chest again, and lots of options to take your variation of the pose. Make sure you're distributing your weight equally through the legs, dropping left fingertips to the mat, left palm inside or outside. Perhaps you turn the palm away, lifting up just a little bit, wrapping the fingertips round, and even taking that full bind. Opening through that right shoulder, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. Stay strong in that front leg, spread those toes wide, lift through the inner arch of that foot. Dropping down onto the left fingertips, open back through to the right. Breathing in, breathing out. Strong arms, strong legs, lift, warrior two, inhaling. And on your next exhale, cartwheel both hands either side of the front foot. Come up onto the back toe. Set yourself back into your plank pose. Again, the option of your vinyasa, or just wave yourself back to child's pose, or perhaps straight into your down dog. Inhale. Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana, down face dog. Fingertips spreading wide. And when you're ready, you're going to drop down onto those knees. Uncurl those toes. Drop yourself down into child's pose, forehead to the mat. Turn the palms to face upwards. Come back into your breath. And also just come back to your peaceful warrior. Perhaps come back to the qualities and see them in yourself as well as others. The capacity to hold strong, to be true to yourself, to be true to what you believe in, but also to do that with compassion and with love, with peace, with a peaceful heart. When you're ready, turning those palms to face back over, rise back up through the torso, curling the toes and lifting yourself all the way back into your down face dog. Looking between the space in your hands, step, jump, float yourself between. Big toes touch, coming into Ardha, and then exhale down into your forward fold. On the inhale, rise, come all the way up, Utthahastasana, tucking the tailbone under. Exhale, draw your hands back through Samastahiti. Equals pose and back through to Tadasana, mountain pose. On the inhale, chair pose, Utkatasana, squeezing the knees and thighs together, lifting through those hands. Exhale, draw your hands through to Anjali Mudra at heart center. Inhale, rise, lift just enough. And on the exhale, take that left elbow all the way over towards the outside of the right knee. Coming into Anjali twist. Thumbs at heart center, pressing firmly. Elbows spreading wide, lots of options again to drop. Left hands to the mat, right arm can come up. Keeping those knees and thighs together. Of course, you're welcome to take that bind, that twist again, perhaps releasing the left hand on top to the thigh into the hip crease to push that knee back or to draw it forwards. Inhale, exhale. When you're ready on the next inhalation, rise, come all the way back through open chest and heart into Urdhva. On the exhale, sink back into your chair pose, tucking tailbone under. Inhale, lift with Anjali Mudra. Exhale, right elbow towards the left knee, squeezing knees and thighs together. Thumbs at heart center. Again, dropping the hands if that feels good. Taking a bind, wrapping that hand round. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale, releasing the hands. Back to Anjali Mudra. On your inhale, open and lengthen. Come all the way up into Urdhva. On the exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back, lengthen, Ardha. On the exhale, lower. Stepping or jumping yourself back into your high plank before you hold. Flex through the feet, dome through the upper back, and wave yourself all the way back and down into your down face dog. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale, sliding left foot to the back center. Inhale, lift through the right leg, three-legged dog. On the exhale, step the right foot right between your fingertips. Sliding that left foot in and rising, coming up into warrior one. Inhale. On the exhale, sweep your hands all the way behind your back, lacing those fingertips, opening chest and heart. On the exhale, diving yourself forwards into your humble warrior. Taking your shoulder to the inside, and you might need to walk that right foot out. Crown of the head facing down in a humble warrior. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale, keeping the legs exactly where they are. On the next inhalation, releasing your bind, taking that left hand behind you. Right arm comes all the way up into variation of peaceful warrior. An open side, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift through the left arm and come all the way back through. Inhale, lengthen through the front leg. Exhale, open all the way out into your warrior two. Inhale, peaceful warrior, an extended version. Exhale, lower your hands straight through into your side angle. Right hand to the mat, onto your thigh, open through that left side. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. From there, start to lift up off the fingertips. Start to straighten that leg and come all the way through into your Trikonasana triangle pose, or your Utthita Trikonasana extended version. Fingertips to the shin if you need to be up a little bit higher, or lower yourself down. Perhaps you have a bind where you take hold of the big toe. Firm up through the legs, breathing in. Breathing out, the bind is also an option there, taking your hand round to the thigh. Perhaps dropping, bending through the knee and dropping the hand through. Taking that grip and then lengthening into your bind, Trikonasana. Breathing in, working with the posture that works for you. Exhale. On the next inhale, strong arms, strong legs, begin to lift. And on the exhale, bend through the front thigh, coming back into warrior two. Inhale. Exhale, cartwheel both hands inside of the front foot. Sliding yourself back onto runner's lunge and then stepping yourself back into your high plank. Dropping down onto the knees, taking your vinyasa, chest and chin, or your chaturanga. Inhale, rise, coming up cobra, up dog. Exhale, back up and down into, from there, your child's pose. And there's an option here if you have headstands, if you have a forearm balance in your practice, if you have handstands in your practice, you can just loosen off those wrists first. You can place those hands down, those forearms down. You can come onto the hands and take your tripod headstand. We're going to give you about 2 minutes to play around, to find what works for you. Perhaps you just stay in your child's pose and you work with variations. Coming more into frog as you take those legs wide, or you drop the big toes together. So if you're coming into your inversions, and often when we put inversions into the middle of a practice rather than at the very end, it takes a lot more concentration, takes a lot more core strength to sort of keep the heart rate down and to focus. So be mindful of what's around with you, be mindful of how your body feels, work with what feels good. So take another 3, 4, 5 breaths. In your inversion, perhaps you just play around with coming up onto the toes and you kind of just take one leg, or you take the knees in, some toe taps. Coming back into child's pose from your inversion, breathing in and breathing out. Fingertips stretching forward, breathing in, breathing out. When you're ready, rise. So taking a child's pose, then coming up onto all fours, curling the toes under, lifting yourself up, back and down again into your down face dog. Sliding that right foot to the back center of the mat, lifting through your left leg, three-legged dog. On the exhale, stepping your left foot between your fingertips, shortening your stride, rising and coming all the way up into your warrior one. So drawing that right hip forward as you rise, breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, sweep the hands all the way behind your back, lacing the fingertips. Inhale, lift, open through chest and heart, and then exhale, lead with the crown of the head. Dive yourself forwards into humble warrior. And it might mean that you just drape the chest onto the thigh. You might even walk that front foot out just to the side so you can lower your shoulder down. Work with what feels good. Taking the arms over the head, breathing in and breathing out as you go. Inhale, exhale, both equal weight through the front and the back leg. Breathing in. On your next inhale, as you rise, begin to turn, release your bind, dropping that right hand to your back thigh. Continue to bend through the front knee and open into variation of peaceful warrior. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale, lift through the right arm, come back into your warrior one. Bend through the front knee that little bit more, lengthen through the back leg. Inhale, And exhale, begin to open out into your warrior two. Find your alignment through the feet, tuck your tailbone under. Strengthen through the arms. Move your gaze, your drishti to that middle finger. Relax through the shoulders, but lengthen through your shoulder blades. Breathing in, breathing out. When you're ready, dropping that right hand to the back thigh. Open again into your extended version of peaceful warrior. Option of taking that hand and wrapping it round. Continue to bend through the front knee. Or keep the fingertips light on that back leg. Inhale. And on the exhale, sweep yourself all the way through into your side ankle. Peeling, opening up the body, open up the chest. So option of using a block, the fingertips, or coming up even higher onto the thigh rather than just the knee. Breathing in, of course, there's always the option of the binds again, variations. And when you're ready, just start to begin to straighten the leg. Push down through that back foot and lift into your Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhaling, exhale. So making yourself as narrow as you can in this posture. Breathing in, breathing out. Inhale, you can always look down at the foot, take hold of the big toe, or come into your variation of your bind, soften the knee first. Inhale, exhale. On the next inhale, strong arms, strong legs, lift, warrior two, bending through that front thigh. On the exhale, cartwheel both hands either side of that front foot, coming up onto the back toe. Lifting all the way back into your plank, taking child's pose, taking your down dog, taking your vinyasa of your choice. Inhale, lift through, cobra, king cobra, urdhva mukha. And on the exhale, drop yourself back and down again into your child's pose. Palms to face up, hands behind, lacing them on the lower back. And again, there's an option, a couple of minutes if you'd like to take your inversions. So again, throwing them into the middle of your practice. So options for headstands. If you're using a wall, do so. Be mindful when you're lifting up. Try and do it with control through your core. Lifting and lowering the legs. Option for headstands, handstands, forearms. If you're working through the forearms, perhaps you join the fingers or you take the thumbs together. Coming into dolphin to start off with. Lifting one leg. Lifting through the other. Take your variations and then again drop yourself down. If you would prefer to take an arm balance, this round, perhaps you want a Bakasana, so you come up onto the toes, dropping the backs, those knees onto the backs of the arms as high as you can, or onto the little fleshy part just behind the elbow. Spread those fingertips wide, gaze is forwards, lift a leg, lift the other. Fingertips used as little sucker cups. And then lower yourself back down. And when you're ready, everyone finding your way back into your child's pose. Turning the palms to face upwards, close down the eyes. Rolling up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra. Rolling the shoulders back and down. Back and down. Turning the palms to face upwards and just take a pause. And as you pause, just allow the heart rate to slow, your breathing frequency to slow. Come back into your devotion for your practice. Come back to the qualities again of your peaceful warrior. Perhaps qualities that you need to work on or you need to express more in your life. When you're ready, just release those hands, bow forwards again into your child's pose, flutter the eyelids open, stretch the fingertips lovely and wide, begin to rise and lift all the way back up into your down face dog. Gaze is right between those thighs, breathing in and breathing out. When you're ready, look between the space in your hands, step, jump, float yourself to the very top edge of your mat, Ardha gazing. Exhale, draw yourself down into your Uttanasana. Inhale, rise, come all the way up, swan dive, or roll up. On the exhale, draw your hands through to heart center. Namaste and back through to your Tadasana. Last round. Inhale, lift, come all the way up. Exhale, take your forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, gazing flat back. Exhale, lower, stepping, jumping yourself all the way back into your plank, waving your body back into your down face dog. On the inhale, begin to slide that left foot to the center of the mat and lift through your right leg, three-legged dog. On the exhale, take your right foot all the way between your fingertips. Drop the back knee down and curl the toe and inhale, lift. Come into Anjaneyasana. The option is to hold there, release the fingertips, come a little bit higher and tuck the tailbone, lower yourself through. And again, we're going to take a couple of variations here, very similar to what our reverse or our peaceful warrior looks like. So our first one is we're going to start to drop the right hand all the way through to the inside of the thigh, and we're just going to begin to arch back, perhaps taking hold, if you'd like to, of the back foot, or just dropping the hand behind you. And once you're there, you can begin to open all the way up through the right hand. Gazing down at the back foot, you can have that back toe curled under if that feels good for you. You can continue to look up towards the right hand, perhaps walk that front foot a little bit further forwards if you need that little bit extra. When you're ready, glance down at the foot, sweeping the hand all the way back through, back onto the thigh to lift yourself back up into Anjaneyasana. On the exhale, drop both hands either side of the front foot. And from there, work your way back into your half split, your Hanumanasana. So here we're trying to get our chest and our thigh down onto the leg, onto the thigh. Sorry, our chest down onto our thigh. You can flex the foot. If you have a larger half split in your practice, curl the toe under of the back foot and you can just begin to work that front foot a little bit further forwards. Perhaps you have a block that you place underneath the sitting bones, the hip, and you work your way down, starting at the highest level or the second level, but keeping that back foot flexed, adding some weight into the fingertips, or using your blocks either side. And again, these are all just options. Of course, you can stay just in your forward fold with your blocks either side of you. Continue to breathe into the stretch. Inhaling and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Really continue to breathe into the hamstrings. Try to stay relaxed and calm in the posture. Surrendering and grounding as you go, and then when you're ready, begin to walk the fingertips forwards, lift yourself from there. Move your body weight through, release the back foot. Slide the block through if you'd like to, and you're going to drop yourself straight down into your lizard pose. So straight into lizard, be mindful of just dropping straight through. Make sure you're strong in that back leg. You might even turn that right foot out just to protect the knee a little bit, to open through the hip. Use the block, use your hands, use your forearms to work your way down. You might even find that you're able to lengthen through the back leg as well and press through. You might even want to take it further, dropping that right shoulder underneath, coming up onto the fingertips of both hands. Come into your variations of lizard. And push yourself just a little bit today. Just to challenge and see what feels good and how far you can go with your practice. And when you're ready, begin to lift, begin to ease off. Come up onto that back toe. Begin to work through that right leg, sweeping it back and dropping yourself all the way back through into your down dog. There's an option of a vinyasa again. Always a vinyasa to take. Breathing in and breathing out. Sigh out of the mouth, let the head go. And we'll work through that other side. So the right foot comes to the Center back of the mat, lifting through the left side, three-legged dog, squaring up those shoulders. On the exhale, step that left foot all the way between. Dropping the back knee down and curl the toe, or keep the toe curled under if that works for you. Inhale, lift, come all the way through Anjaneyasana. Perhaps you lifted that a little bit higher today and you tuck the pelvis under. You part the hands, you open. You might even take the arms to opposite elbow if that feels a bit better for you. Or you drop and you release that little bit lower. Inhale. Exhale. From there, releasing that left hand to the inside. Just to guide and continue to press that knee out. When you're ready, turning your arm all the way behind, perhaps releasing the foot. Working your hand down to the back of the thigh, the back of the calf. And then begin to turn the palm and reach all the way up through that arm. Continue to draw the belly in, to lift yourself rather than sinking, strong through the legs, as well as finding flexibility there. You may begin to turn the head and look up. Continue to press that knee out to the side so it doesn't fall in. And when you're ready, drawing that left hand back, sweeping that right arm all the way back through into Anjaneyasana, low lunge, crescent lunge. Both hands either side of that front foot, wave the body back into your half Hanuman split. So again, just pressing through, lowering chest and belly onto the thigh, flexing or pointing, and you can even soften the knee and just work through the belly of the hamstring there. Inhale, exhale. Again, option on this side if you're working on your Hanuman split is to take that block, cushion, pillow, whatever it might be, start to scoot that leg behind you, continue to be really active through that front foot as well as through the back. Walking that leg behind you and placing that block underneath the sitting bone, the hips. Stay nice and active through the legs. Fingertips can come down to the mat. Try and lift yourself up and out. And again, option as you breathe and slowly come into this stretch is to lower your way down onto, I have to shift myself forwards through my mat a bit more, onto the lower edges of your block, breathing into it, inhaling, and exhale, shoulders are relaxed. Of course, extra blocks, extra pillows here are always good. And when you're ready, lifting. Option to pause as well and to hold there in your split. And then from there, working your way through into your lizard lunge. So both arms come to the instep. Forearms can come onto the block. Perhaps you curl the back toe under and press away. You might even take that left shoulder underneath, plant the hands down, or come up onto the fingertips. Breathing in and breathing out. Inhale and exhale. And there, push all the way up through the fingertips, curl that back toe under, wave yourself back into your full plank. Option again of Chaturanga, knees, chest, chin. Inhale is your up dog. Tucking the chin under as you wave yourself back into your down dog. Breathing in and exhaling out of the nose, perhaps even out of the mouth. 2 more breaths, find stillness, close down the eyes. Dropping down onto the knees. Uncurling the toes, coming into child's pose. Fingertips stretching away from you, bowing the forehead to the mat. Releasing those shoulders. The knees can come wide. Allowing the chest to drop through if that works for you. When you're ready, start to roll up through the spine. And from there, we're going to take Ustrasana, our camel pose. So if you have sensitive knees, you can roll your mat up here if you'd like to, if you haven't doubled up on your mat. There's the option of just taking a half camel, which is staying in this seated posture, in this thunderbolt pose, or style of Virasana. Taking your hands behind you, working through the fingertips, tucking tailbone and just opening chest and heart, pressing through. And that might be enough today. And you just work through a couple of those, either keeping chin to chest or lengthening through. If you'd like to take a camel pose, you're going to come up onto the knees. Begin to curl the toes under, making sure your feet are hip distance apart. Tucking the tailbone under and placing your hands onto your lower back. The thumbs either wrapping around, and people really have different preferences here, but the main thing is to make sure that you're protecting your lower back and that you're lifting and lengthening up from the chest. The chest and the heart is opening here. So from there, squeezing your elbows behind you, tuck, pelvic tilt, lengthen through the spine, chin to chest, and begin to press, open up through the chest, open up through the heart. Perhaps you turn your thumbs, fingertips to face upwards. Continue to keep chest, chin to chest. You might even just begin to look upwards or allow the head to drop back. And again, work with what feels good. There might be an option to take hold of the ankles here and to press the chest forwards, and you can continue to look forwards if the neck is a little bit, doesn't like the intensity. When you're ready, draw your hands wherever you are back to your lower back, chin to chest, rise and come up, uncurl the toes and just drop yourself back into a variation of hero's pose. Palms come to face upwards. Try not to move your lower back too much. We're just going to take one more of those. So options of taking the half camel. When you're ready, lifting, rising, coming all the way back up, curling the toes under. Dropping your hands to the lower back, pelvic tilting. Inhale, reaching and opening up, turning the palms if you'd like to or holding on. Perhaps you even release the fingertips and drop yourself all the way back. Taking your hands down to your ankles, to the shins, to the calf muscles, even lowering your feet and reaching through. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. When you're ready, hands back through to the lower back. Inhale, lifting, be mindful as you draw and work through your core muscles, dropping yourself all the way back down onto your Virasana heroes. And now we're able to just lower ourselves all the way down and really feel the work that we've just done in the lower back as we surrender in our child's pose. Forehead to the mat, breathing in and breathing out. And try to make this fairly active as you walk those fingertips away. More active we can make it. Imagine the hips pressing behind you, fingertips moving in the opposite direction. Start to roll up through the spine, vertebra by vertebra, and then just drop those feet off to the side. Stretching those feet out in front of you, we're going to take our Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, flexing the feet so the heels lift off the mat on the inhale. Rise and come up. On the exhale, leave your chest and heart and the crown of the head as you lower chest, belly onto those thighs. Keep gazing at your toes. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Just 3 more breaths here. Try to keep turning the eyes of the elbows to face forwards rather than in and rounding the spine. Allow the chest to come through, flex those feet. Of course, options to take yoke toe lock, to wrap the hands around. If you have a strap, there's also the option of using that. And when you're ready, be mindful as you lift. And then taking hold of your left leg, just taking a bit of a cradle. So make sure you're flexing the foot. You can take it into the corner of your elbow, taking hold of the knee and just work in and out of that hip. Give it some movement, give it some love. And then when you're ready, you're going to drop knee right on top of your knee and come into cow face pose. So keep that left foot flex, the right foot flex as well. Knee on top of knee. Of course, there is always the option of just dropping that foot in as well. So if that's too much for your hips today, the inner edge or the sole of the foot can come to the inside. Otherwise, drop into your cow face, fingertips behind you, inhale. Exhale, lower yourself down. So our half Gomukhasana. The hands can come back to the foot. Lead with chest and heart again. Yogi toe grip is an option. The strong stretch into the hamstring, the calf muscle. Even the IT band on the outside of that right leg gets a good stretch. Inhaling. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. When you're ready, slowly, mindfully begin to lift. Of course, you can press pause and just stay a little bit longer in these stretches. From there, you're going to keep the cross of the leg, but you're just going to drop the sole of the foot down. Taking your left hand behind you, flexing through that right foot on the inhale, rise, come up through the right side. Coming into Ardha Matsyendra, our half Lord of the Fish twist. Dropping that right hand to the outer side of the leg. Looking, gazing right over that left shoulder. Continue to flex the right foot. Of course, there's the option of bending and sweeping it back, coming into the full variation. Work through your fingertips. Sit lovely and tall on the inhale, and on the exhale, twist. Option to take a bind, wrapping the hand through. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Just take a counter pose from there, sweeping that left hand, arm, elbow to the inside of the thigh, gazes down, release the neck, the shoulders, work by twisting the stomach. And turning yourself back through center and just let that left leg go. Perhaps shimmy, shake the legs, move it around. And then from there, we're going to draw through that right side. So again, come to cradle, placing, perhaps it's even just a little bit of movement there when you flex the foot and the foot comes into the hand, or you even place it into the crease of the elbow. Flex the foot so you protect the knee, and just work into that hip again. Breathing in and breathing out, nice and easy. And then when you're ready, dropping that knee all the way on top of knee, flexing through that foot, sitting on both bum cheeks, moving on the flash from your bottom. Make sure you continue to flex that right foot. Inhaling, and on the exhale, walk yourself forwards. Notice the difference between two sides. This for me is a bigger stretch than on the other side. You can really feel that in the hamstring, and my calf muscle as I draw that heel back. A little bit through my lower back. Continue to flex the foot and stay strong in that pose. Inhaling and exhaling as you go. When you're ready, lift through the spine, dropping that right foot to the outer edge. Drawing the knee in and twisting the body, taking that right hand behind you, lengthen and sit up lovely and tall on the inhale, lift through that left arm, flexing the left foot, and on the exhale, dropping that left elbow, the left shoulder. If that's a little bit too much, try not to really twist around too much. You can always take hold of the knee and just take that wrap. Gazes down or over the back fingers, work with what feels good in the neck. Option to take a bind, wrapping that hand through and taking hold. On the inhale, sit tall, and on the exhale, lengthen. Inhale, sit tall. Exhale, twist. On the inhale, sweep all the way around and come into your counter twist, dropping that right elbow to the instep of the right thigh, the right knee, gazes down. And then drawing yourself back through center. From there, you're going to cross the legs. And you have an option to come into, again, your last time to come into inversion. So if you're practicing headstand, perhaps tripod, perhaps you're also working on your pincha mayurasana, your forearm balances, your handstands. You have a wall that you want to take some time. We've got a good 3 or 4 minutes to play around with before the end of class, so give your inversions a go. It's a really good opportunity to practice your inversions. Once you're nice and warm, the shoulders are warmed up, your core is turned on, your legs have been activated. Of course, there's always the option of coming down into bridge, Setu Bandhasana, of coming into your shoulder stand as well. So if you're taking any of these less intense, we should say, postures, depending on how you feel, of course, in your practice, you're coming into your bridge pose, begin to lift through the hips, squeeze the thighs, squeeze the bum, perhaps you lace your fingertips and you press down through the pinky side, lifting onto your shoulders. You might come down from this posture, or you might decide to lift onto the arms from there and begin to lift the legs up into your shoulder stand, flexing, pointing the toes. You might come all the way through, taking your legs over the head, making sure there's nothing behind you first. Coming into plow pose. If your feet touch, you can release the hands. If they don't, keep them onto your lower back. Perhaps you come into ear-piercing pose as well, dropping those knees right by the ears. And when you're ready, releasing through the shoulders, releasing through the back, vertebra by vertebra. If fish pose is in your practice, hands underneath the hips, underneath the bum, lifting yourself up onto your forearms. The knees can come together. You can just press, open up the chest, and you can stay there, chin to chest. You might drop the head back and find the crown of your head. You may lift through the arms, through the feet, take your variation. And then when you're ready, begin to roll all the way back, drawing your knees in towards your chest. So if you're taking any of your inversions, make sure that you've taken your counter poses. If you've taken headstand, handstand, you've taken your forearm balance, make sure you come into child's pose. Shoulder stand, plow, fish pose. When you're ready, plant down through the feet. If you have any other postures you'd like to do, perhaps a twist. Perhaps you want to take a mermaid leg or even Supta Baddha Konasana. Turn the palms to face upwards, close down the eyes, start to come into your breath again. I'm going to take a good 5 minutes of Shavasana and 5 minutes to work our way to relaxation, to restoration. If you need to scan the body, if you just need to check in, you've got the time to do so. If you need to put on any extra layers, cover the toes, use a blanket, support the head, support the knees, the neck. So staying and finding your Shavasana wherever you are, Or perhaps if you prefer to take breath work in a seated posture, you make your way through, mindfully working through your lower back, either rocking up or moving over onto your right cheek and shoulder, taking your time to come into your comfortable seat wherever you are. You can draw your fingertips to your belly. Release those shoulders, let them go. Wherever you are, the chin very softly tucks into your chest. The shoulders become relaxed. No tension through the jaw, the mouth, the cheekbones, the eyes, your brows and your forehead. Continue just to take your breath through the nose, inhaling and exhaling. And with every breath, you slow your breathing frequency down, you lengthen your breath. It becomes a little bit deeper, moving into your lower abdomen, your belly. And exhaling, allowing your belly to soften, your chest to draw in, your chin to come into your chest. If you'd like to, you're welcome to come back to your intention, purpose and your devotion for your practice. Those qualities of a peaceful warrior, the pose for the theme of our class today. Perhaps the person that represents your peaceful warrior, or perhaps the qualities in yourself that you see, that you admire in others, and that reflect upon you also. If you're in your Shavasana, start to bring life back into your physical body. Gently moving your fingertips and your toes. Taking a full body stretch by moving your fingertips all the way over your head, stretching your toes, lengthening through the full body, and then drawing your legs in towards your chest, just one at a time. And if you're in your comfortable seat, just release your hands from the belly or from your heart center. Just allow them to naturally fall where they do on your thighs, perhaps even just coming into a mudra of your choice. Rolling over onto your right cheek and shoulder and lifting yourself all the way up so we're all joined together in our comfortable seat. Keeping the eyes closed and your focus, your attention inwards. Coming back to a slow and steady breath. No extra effort. Drawing your thumbs all the way through to heart center, thumbs at your sternum. Knowing to stand strong and stand tall for what you believe in, but knowing to embrace life with a peaceful heart. Raising your thumbs all the way up to your third eye, living your life to its fullest, embracing your life with passion, bowing to the divine in each and every one of you and saying thank you as always for coming on your mats. I hope you enjoyed that practice. Namaste.